I'm back. Sunday GUNDAY. What's going on, everyone? Back with another episode of Stuff and Things. Finally back here in Pennsylvania at the private range to bring you guys some more Sunday GUNDAYs. I've got a lot of stuff on my plate today. I'm up here with Panda Tactical and some of my friends, so we got a lot of stuff to go through. I'm gonna try to chop through these as quickly as possible. The first thing on the chopping block is a gun that I had shown you guys out at SHOT Show. I was super excited to actually see and get this thing in my hands, and that is the Agency Arms Nighthawk Custom collaboration, the Agent 2. The Nighthawk Agent 2 was created under the one gun, one gunsmith mentality, meaning there's gunsmith craftsmanship combined with modern machining techniques. This is really pushing the boundaries of what's possible with the 1911 when it comes to form and functionality. The gun is built on a forged government frame with a lightened recon rail, a slide with Agency's signature front and rear cocking serrations, as well as the infamous window cuts, and of course a match grade semi-crowned flush cut barrel which comes in both 9 and 45. Looking at the piece, some might think it was machined from a solid chunk of steel. There's custom machining everywhere your hands touch the firearm, the front strap, back strap, and of course all of the controls. There's a black ledge rear sight with a Nighthawk fiber optic front sight, giving the picture some nice contrast. The frame is fitted with G10 grips, holds a 10-round single stack mag, and of course has a custom trigger using the expertise from both Nighthawk and Agency. So that is a brief overview of this thing. I'm not gonna get into the price just yet, but as you can imagine, it's pretty damn expensive. This is definitely one of the most expensive guns that I will ever shoot in a long time. You don't know yet. I'm gonna put the first mag through this thing and I will come back and give you guys my first impression. That's nice. Alright, first mag impressions. There's a lot to say about this thing, so I'm just gonna start from the top down. The sights are very nice. This is probably one of my favorite sight combinations on any gun, whether it's striker fired, hammer fired, 1911 polymer. I like a serrated blacked out rear sight with a red fiber optic front like this. It picks up light really good in pretty much all situations, and this front sight post specifically is really slim, so even at a pretty good distance, I don't think you're gonna have any problem with this covering up a target about the size of a torso. The serrations on this thing are exactly what I would expect out of Agency. Out of all of the different custom machined guns that I've shot, Agency always tends to be my favorite. It's a little difficult to see, but they're all basically cut at what looks like to be a 45-degree angle. It's got them up front and in the rear. I tend to press check guns all the time. I believe all guns should come with front serrations. A lot of them are nowadays, and 1911s are no exception to that. If I were to ever buy a 1911, I would definitely want something at least similar to this up front. I don't really have a whole lot to say about the barrel or how the gun shoots as of yet. I want to put some more rounds through it before I give you that impression, but I can say it shoots really flat, as you would expect. For a 1911, you obviously have a lot of weight moving around there, but with the light and slide window cuts, all the serrations, and just a solid chunk of steel, it's obviously really manageable, and it's a lighter slide than you would find on any off-the-shelf 1911. I'm not exactly sure the name of the coating that they put over this whole gun, but I have to say I'm a big fan of it. It almost feels like some kind of like nitride, but it's not completely flat or matte, and it's not glossy, but it definitely won't be catching any fingerprints. And I mean, look at this thing. I'm just a huge fan of the aesthetics. The trigger on this thing is great, as you would expect. The grip felt really good in my hand as well. I'm a big fan of 1911 grip angles. I actually prefer the grip angle like on a polymer 80 frame as opposed to a regular standard Glock frame. So this feels right at home. The G10 grips are really nice as well. They're not too bulky, so I feel more comfortable with this in my hand as opposed to the chunkier grips on the Nighthawk Recon, which I can show you guys a little bit later. The texturing all around this thing does look really aggressive, but it's really not that bad. I'm wearing gloves right now, obviously, because it's cold, but when I'm shooting with my gloves off, it's not overly aggressive that it's like tearing at your skin. I think it's just super well executed, and for the price, it better be executed pretty damn well. So I'm gonna shoot the hell out of this thing. Maybe everyone else is gonna shoot it too. Throw in some clips of that, and then I will come back with my final impressions. This thing is by no means a target gun, but we gotta try a little bit of a distance. Not too shabby. I'm at well over 100 yards right now. Couple hits. Alright, and I'm back for my final impressions of the Nighthawk Custom Agency Arms collaboration, the Agent 2. We have about 150 rounds through this thing collectively. I wish I had time to shoot a little bit more, but we got a lot more stuff to film today, so this is just a first impression video. I'm going to start off with the sights again. I originally said that I did like these, however, there is one complaint. If you're looking to shoot very accurately, these are not target sights. The rear has a really wide channel and the front sight post is really slim. So what that does is kind of give you room to wiggle around in there. It does have a long sight radius, making this thing seem even a little bit smaller when it's in there. Here's an idea of what I'm talking about. As you can see, it kind of can move around in there, so if you're shooting close combat fighting style situations, these sights would be ideal for that. However, once you go out like past 50 yards or so, you can definitely hit and be accurate with this thing, but you have to be more conscious of where your front sight post is as it falls in the rear. So for how this thing actually shoots, all of the controls are really accessible from just one-handed controls. A lot of times you'll pick up a 1911 and you won't be able to reach the slide release with your thumb. However, this is no issue at all. In some other cases where the slide locks back, it's best practice to slam in your next mag and hit it with your support hand thumb. However, this, I can do it all with one hand. The trigger is a relatively flat shoe with a little hook on the bottom, and as you would expect, the trigger is very, very nice. Here's a look at the take up to the wall. As you can see, it's almost like you're pressing a button on a remote controller. And then you're right at the wall for a crisp, clean break. I don't have a trigger gauge with me, but if I had to guess, I would say it's like a 3.5 pound pull. And then there's the reset. You gotta be really careful if you're gonna try to feel this. You gotta let it out really slowly. It's definitely tactile and audible. However, some of the guys who were shooting with gloves on said that it wasn't that pronounced. The best way I could describe it is mechanical. Obviously it is mechanical, but it's the first trigger that I felt where the reset to me actually feels predictable. The tactile feeling on some striker fired pistols like Glocks, they kind of push your finger out further past the wall. This tactile feeling is just enough that it pushes your finger past the wall, but then you're sitting right on the edge of it again. So I really had no problems putting off a shot, feeling the reset, and then being right at the wall again for a follow-up shot. The only other thing that I can really talk about now is the price. What's the price on this thing again? Oh my god, that's so expensive. The retail price on the Agent 2 is a cool $4,600. I'm at a loss for words saying that a gun costs that much. It's just, whew, man. It is a Nighthawk, it is agency. I mean, my Agency 19, I have a lot of money in this thing. And then to buy a full frame 1911 like this, with all of this custom work done, I understand it. And the price, it's justified. However, can you justify spending that much money on a gun like this? Can I justify it? Right now, no. I can't do it. Can't do it. That price point is just a little too rich for my blood right now. However, if I had the money and I was definitely in the market for a 1911, I think I would put up the money and buy an Agent 2 or something similar. The thing with this gun is you're paying for not only the names that come along with it, but the aesthetics, just the overall package in its entirety. The lines of the gun, the machining cuts, even like the Cerakote or whatever the finish color that they have on here, everything adds to the price of it. The thing is, if you're buying a gun for this much money, especially being that it is a 1911, you pay that price and you pay it once. You're gonna have this gun for a long, long time, pass it down to your son, your grandkids. this thing ain't going anywhere. If you wanted to kind of piss off the 1911 purists, which this already does, I'm sure there are a ton of 1911 guys out there who are going,
oh, that's 9mm, should be 45. What the hell are those window cuts in the side of it?
If you wanted to take it even a step further, you could also get it with an RMR cut on it with no added cost. I mean, if you're spending that much money for a gun in the first place, I don't think a couple extra $100 are gonna really turn you off from buying it. So back to the question, could I justify this? I'm gonna say yes, I would buy this gun. However, not right now. It's definitely marketed towards people like myself who like really high quality, nice things. I would never carry this gun because I know some people are gonna ask. This is basically like an heirloom type of gun. This is something that I would buy, I would bring it out and shoot it every once in a while. Other than that, it would sit in my safe and basically be an investment. You could pass it down to any of your kids in the future, and that's where I think this gun really serves a purpose. So now I guess I'll pass the question on to you guys. Do you think this is justified? If you would pick up this gun, would you get it in a 9 or a 45? Would you do an RMR cut on it? And if you really liked this, do you think that you're actually gonna go out and buy one? If you want to, this gun was loaned to me by Panda Tactical. You could buy this exact gun. This, obviously I'm not buying right now. This is going back to Panda Tactical, so you can send them an email and you could have the one that I shot.
We'll knock a couple $100 off the price.
We'll knock a couple $100 off the price. I guess that's all that I had for my thoughts on this gun. I know I went over it quick, so if you guys have any questions about other things that you want my opinion on of this gun, feel free to leave them in the comments down below. We got a bunch of more guns to shoot and they will be coming out in the next couple of weeks, so that is going to be all for today. If you're new to this channel, consider clicking subscribe. I make new videos every week, and that's going to be all. As always, thank you guys for watching, and I'll talk to you in the next one.